drive there by Drury. It's going to come the other way. Here comes a break. Coming in on Kochetkov, and he makes the save on LaPierre.
Huge save for Kochetkov early.
H's in the cap zone. He'll leave it for Orlov. Orlov takes a look. That shot through. He scores! Dimitry Orlov! Glove high. 1-0 Carolina. Now Robinson gets it up for Necas. He scores! Marty Necas! Stay hot! And Carolina's tied at 2. Orlov. Traffic out in front. He'll hand it off for Necas. Necas heads up. Back to Orlov. Takes it up. He scores! A 1-2 punch from Dimitry Orlov today. And Carolina back in the lead. It's 3-2 on Orlov, second of the game.
Hi, everyone. How is everybody? I hope you're all having a good time. And let me just get rid of that so we don't have double audio. Yes, we figured it out. Hi, it's the Canes Corner podcast. I am Adam Gold, your humble Hurricanes servant. For the next 25 to 30 minutes on a Sunday early evening, I guess, still early evening, not quite yet, 9 o'clock Eastern time. And we are brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. If it is for the exterior of your home, you can find it at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. No place like it. Sammy Hanna and his crew do a great job. You should check them out for all of your exterior home improvement needs. 4-2. Hurricanes win 6 in a row, 8 of 9, 8-2 on the year, 16 points from 10 games. It's pretty good. Pretty good for a team that nobody was really sure about at the start of the season. Like, we all thought they'd be good. And they are good. And it's still only 10 games. But they look like they might be more than good. Especially if Marty Necas is going to put up 148 points this year. 147.6 is the pace for points. I rounded up. I could have just left it at 147. Maybe that's more accurate than 148. But on pace for 49 goals and 99 assists this year. Yeah, it's one of those years. A lot of good. Obviously, Necas was a star again tonight, and he's been, one of the 3 stars of the game basically every game that the Hurricanes have played just about this year. And I guess that's as good a place as any to start. It's not my most important takeaway from the game, but we're going to get to that. Shouts to all of you. I know we're hopefully going to start this even earlier than 8:40, but didn't quite get there. But let's start with Necas, and let's just marvel at the numbers, just the sheer production of it all, and we'll get to why this production is what it is. Obviously, some of it is just luck, right? I mean, it's just flat out. Some of it is just luck. Dimitry Orlov, 2 worldy shots, right? The one from the left, and we'll talk about that play in a minute. The one on the right scored from, a sharp angle the first time, just like a 45-degree angle the second time. You can make the argument that neither were great goals to allow, but at the same time, I thought Charlie Lindgren played a very good game. But, he might want at least one of those 2 goals back. But Necas has 3 straight multi-point games. He's never done that before this year. He's had multi-point games in 5 of his last 6. He has a 6-game point streak in which he has 15 points, 5 goals, and 10 assists in his last 6 games. 5 out of his last 6 multi-points, 6 out of his last 8 multi-point games. Now, he has the opportunity on Tuesday against the Philadelphia Flyers to equal his career high in terms of a point streak. During the 22-23 season, and what did Marty have, 71 points that year? He had a 7-game point streak in which he had 4 goals and 4 assists. Earlier that year, he had a 6-game 8-point streak in which he had 4 goals and 6 assists for 10 points. So while he's done 6 before, he has not done 6 like this. This is ridiculous. And it became a joke to me. Like, if you're a Hurricane and Necas passes you the puck, tell me your excuse for not just shooting it. It's probably going in. The way Necas is compiling points, if he passes it to you, just shoot it. Don't ask. It's a gift. Take the gift. I kid, but on both goals, it's simple plays that Necas makes that leads to the goal. The first goal was an interception of a pass that was Washington was trying to exit the zone. Necas knocks the puck down just inside the blue line. He's going to skate it around and then realizes he's got Dimitry Orlov coming along the wall down the left. And rather than skate it out into the middle, which wouldn't have been a terrible play, he just banks it off the wall. There's nobody behind him. So Orlov is going to have some space to skate onto. And it's sort of like an overlapping run in soccer. And he just dumped it off the wall. Orlov skated onto it and ripped it near post over the glove of Lindgren. Went off the post. Looked like it went off the post and off the bar and then in and then might have hit the other bar. It looked like it hit all of them. And it's 1-0 Hurricanes. End of the period, unlucky, blah, blah, blah. 2-1, we'll get to that in a couple minutes. But you're down 2-1, and you come out to start the third period, and it looks like you guys, looks like the team was energized by simply the way they played. Because they were great in the first period, I thought. Washington had plenty of chances. In fact, if I was rating the 3 periods, as good as Carolina was, I would say that the first period was probably Washington's best. They just, even now, a lot of it was on the power play, but not all of it. They just created some pretty good scoring chances, and we'll get to the reason why it was still 1-0 Carolina heading to that 5-on-3 power play. But then you start the second period, you're down 2-1. You looked every bit as good as you did in the first, probably better. And then you have the good play by Shane Gostisbehere to force the turnover. I think the turnover was forced from Protas right at the Hurricanes' defensive blue line. Jesperi Kotkaniemi in puck support, deep in his own end, gets the loose puck, snaps it quickly to Eric Robinson right at the blue line, who just kicks it forward to Necas. And the quickest little move, he gets the puck on his forehand. Whether he dekes or not, he just brings it so quickly to the backhand and roofs it right under the crossbar. And it's 2-2. So we're talking 2.5 minutes into the period. No stress. Boom. 2-2. Less than 3 minutes later, again, that line, very good tonight. Great puck retrievals. Force another turnover. And Necas, who I think Chatfield was in on this goal too. And Necas is, he and Orlov, pass the puck back and forth once. And then Necas skates to the middle. Orlov drifts over to the right. Perfect pass right in the wheelhouse. The puck was kind of on its edge, and Orlov just cranked it. In retrospect, maybe not a bad goal because I think Orlov was inside the top of the circle. But these goalies, man, if you get a clean look at it, that's probably one you want to stop. But great shot. 3-2 Carolina. And that was basically it. Svechnikov had the empty net goal at the end. And it's kind of weird. I don't think Carolina generated a ton of great scoring chances out of all their puck possession. But this is part of the reason why Rod Brind'Amour plays this style, is because the whole idea is to have the puck. Because I don't know that this is a proven fact scientifically, but if you have the puck, it's really hard for the other team to score. Find the lie. Hurricanes had it from just about all of the last two periods. I mean, the numbers were pretty staggering, I thought, from the last two periods of the game. Carolina attempted the Capitals by a 56-31. That's almost 2-1 shot attempts. First period was closer to even. Third period, of course, when you get down to the very end of it, is going to be that way because it's a 6-on-5 situation. At 5-on-5, it was more stark. The last two periods at 5-on-5 were 47-20 in terms of attempts at 5-on-5. And that covers more than 30 minutes. Yes, there was some 6-on-5 time at the end. Each team had a handful of power plays. Canes were 0 for 3 on the power play tonight. I think Washington was 1 out of 4. So the Canes just had the puck. They didn't generate a ton out of all their possession. They certainly generated plenty, but they didn't generate a ton. But they were just on the puck every night. And I don't even know how to describe what I saw from this team tonight. But they'd shoot the puck, blah, blah, blah. Washington's going to try to exit the zone, and Carolina just wouldn't let them. They hounded the puck so well tonight that even after they lost possession in the offensive end, they somehow managed to win it back pretty quickly and got scoring chances off of that. It was an impressive performance. I think the best group at doing that was probably the Aho line, but I think they had a lot of company as in terms of being the best at doing that. I think the Staal line was good at it. I thought Kotkaniemi, Necas, and Robinson were really good at it. That line was very, very good tonight as well. But they just got the puck back a ton. And when they do that, I mean, that's the beauty of the system. We have it. You don't. You can't score when we have it. We'd have to really screw it up for you to score goals when we have it. So Necas, the way he played it was just indicative of where everybody was this game. I thought the way they played looked a lot like the way they played against Boston. The difference between that game on Thursday and today's game, the quality of the competition. Like today, if they played like they did tonight against Boston, and if they play like they did tonight against Philly on Tuesday, we're going to see another, like, I don't know if massacre is, you're not going to do 8-2 all the time, but Carolina could really put a hurting on Philadelphia if they play the same way they played tonight. It's hard to sustain this. This is now the 10th game. Only the first game wasn't played at this pace with this level of performance. And again, performance and production are two different things. Because I thought their performance against St. Louis in a loss was excellent. They just lost the game. They didn't get great goaltending that game. And that will send us into what I believe is the most important thing that we saw today. Not the Necas 3-point game. Not Orlov scoring 2 goals. And by the way, I think Dimitry is sort of getting into shape now. Like, I know he did not show up in great shape to training camp. Rod Brindamore was not thrilled with that, which is why Orlov played 4 of the 6 preseason games as opposed to pretty much all the other veterans playing 2, no more than 3. But Orlov played 4 for a reason. And I didn't think he started the year in fine form, but he is on form now. And he does look like a much better player. I thought he and Chatfield were really good defensively tonight. Funny thing is that I'm not sure that this wasn't the worst game that Jacob Slavin has played this year, but at the same time, Slavin was awesome in the third period because I'm pretty sure he was on the ice every time Alexander Ovechkin was on the ice. He was really good in the third period. He was really culpable for the second goal. He had help, but it wasn't the only one. But it was right after the 5-on-3 expired, and yeah, we'll get to it in a minute. But I didn't think it was one of Jacob's better games until we got to the third period, and then he did Jacob Slavin things. But Orlov and Chatfield really, really good tonight. But the best thing we saw tonight was Pyotr Kochetkov. Not that he was the best player. He didn't have to be. But based on what we believe, and I saw Freddie Anderson up on in the press box today. Freddie looks like he's in good spirits. He looked like he was walking fine. I can't imagine he's going to be gone for too long. So we probably won't have a huge run of games for Kochetkov. And these games have been spaced out. Carolina last played on Thursday. Today's Sunday. They're 2 days off. We have another day off, then a game Tuesday against Philly, then another day off, and then Thursday against Pittsburgh before going to Colorado, I believe it is, on Saturday. So there are no back-to-backs here. So I think Freddie, my guess is Freddie's probably back within, let's say, 10 days to 2 weeks. We get Freddie back on the ice. So Carolina's going to need Kochetkov to not be the Kochetkov that played at the beginning of last season, or the Kochetkov that played, I want to get his run of games here, the Kochetkov that played in St. Louis, who was no good. The Kochetkov that played he wasn't awesome. Trying to think about Vancouver. I don't really remember a ton, but look, he was great in Calgary. I mean, great in Calgary. But they don't need him to be great. I mean, at times you will. But what they got out of him tonight was solid and controlled. And that's all they really want from their goaltending. Be solid. Be under control. And it's hard for Kochetkov because he is such an emotional player. And I mean that in a good way. But sometimes it gets the better of him. And I thought tonight, the very first big save he made, and I noted this immediately. I thought the way he went about, now it was just, Hendrix Lapierre. It ain't like you've stopped, Mario Lemieux. But Hendrix Lapierre comes in at a breakaway. And we know what Pyotr is like. A, he ain't great at breakaways to begin with. B, he's Captain Pokecheck. And today, he doesn't poke check. He just plays it solid, uses his stick to shut down the 5-hole along the ice, which, like textbook, this is how you make a breakaway look like a simple save. You don't have to do all the craziness. You simply stay square, keep your stick where it can help you, and here you go. And you make a very comfortable, almost easy save on a breakaway. Now, again, it wasn't like you stopped Mario Lemieux, but these guys all get paid, man. Jordan Martinook scores on his fair share of breakaways. Why couldn't Hendrix Lapierre do it? So that save to me was indicative of the Kochetkov we were likely to get. Honestly, I'm not faulting him for the Ovechkin goal on the 5-on-3, or the goofy goal that went in when Brandon Duhaime poked it across the goal line, because that was just kind of a bunch of comedy of errors, puck management, Slavin swatting it down, Necas unable to control it because Slavin just swatted it at him. And then the puck bounces off of Slavin's leg. It looks like it's going in anyway. when Duhaime pokes it across. So, like, just a weird set of circumstances. It put Carolina in a tough spot because it took them from having a really good first period to trailing 2-1 before the end of the frame, and they had to be in the locker room going, can't believe we're losing this game. We're kicking their rear ends, and we're down 2-1. And the way Washington has been playing, you could certainly see why maybe, not that panic is the right word, but yeah, we got an uphill climb. And then Necas and Orlov turned the game around. But it was really the play of Kochetkov that I think that made everything possible tonight. He was just so steady. He was even steady on the Ovechkin save down the left side in the third period. It was still 3-2. It was early enough in the third period where that game was anybody's hockey game to win. We talk about it all the time. It's a one-shot hockey game, so you have a chance, especially with the extra attacker. And Washington did have about a little bit, like a minute 20, I would guess, of 6-on-5 time. But Kochetkov's save early and the save on Ovechkin and some of the others just showed somebody who was not going to be put off of his game by himself, by letting the emotion get too much. He was really, really solid tonight. And if I'm Rod Brindamore, I am driving home, maybe right now, and listening, and I'm thinking, yeah, tonight is exactly what we want to see. If we never saw another Pyotr or crazy fun move from Kochetkov, but we got what we got tonight out of Kochetkov, yeah, that's the Kochetkov that can get on a run of a whole bunch of games and post a lot of good numbers because Carolina's defense is going to give him the chance to do that. So just impressive. Eric Robinson and Jesperi Kotkaniemi. We gave a lot of love to Necas, another multi-point game, understood. Other than the face-offs, which were not good for Kotkaniemi tonight, 2 out of 9, I thought that line, along with Robinson and Necas, was really on top of it. They were on the ice for 3 goals, so that certainly helps. But I just thought that they were really good at retrieving the puck, especially in the offensive zone. They were heavy to play against. Necas and Robinson are tremendously fast. Of course, Necas we know, but Robinson's got, I think, deceptive speed. Very good performance overall from both of them tonight. Penalty kill was really good. Like, you got to love how they battled in the 5-on-3. I thought Washington set it up maybe for the first 45 seconds, had a couple of cracks at it, but didn't really get good looks. Then Carolina went on a run of intercepting passes, creating turnovers, and getting the puck out of the zone. They had one almost, breakaway. And then ultimately, because, hey, it's a 5-on-3, it's going to happen. Ovechkin's in his spot, and he beats Kochetkov far side. I thought maybe Pyotr, like in his haste to get to the post, maybe slightly overplayed the angle, and Ovechkin beat him far side. If he's at the top of his crease and in good position, I think that's a save. But he was a little deep, and I think he overcommitted. But look, 5-on-3, you're throwing your body at the other post from post to post. Sometimes it's hard not to overskate the play. So the second goal was a fluke. I'm not even going to worry about any of that. So, but I thought the penalty kill was very good. Washington's power play is not. That was just their 4th power play goal of the season. So it's the 4th time this year that the Hurricanes have been 2 men down on a penalty kill. Devils scored a power play goal at 5-on-3. The Bruins last game had 2 different 5-on-3s, scored on the first one, not on the second one. And, of course, the first one was just a goof off of Slavin's leg. Brad Marchand was just throwing the puck. It looked like maybe to David Pastrnak above the left faceoff circle, which would not have been a grade A scoring opportunity. And it caromed off of Slavin's leg and floated in. We've all seen it by now. If you haven't, you can certainly go see it. It was a fluky goal. The penalty kill has been dynamite. So, but we're used to that, right? Here with the Hurricanes, because the power play certainly hasn't always been good. It is, although I thought I'd give the power play tonight a C+. I thought there were some good moments of it. It certainly was not like soul sucking, but they didn't get any goals, and I'm not sure they got great looks. They have good possession, good zone time. Entries weren't really an issue tonight, but I don't think they got super looks on the power play, and that's why I think C+ is probably a good grade for that group. And then finally, I'm looking at the Metro. One more thing before I get to the standings. The Aho line is going to come. They're going to figure it out. I thought they played as well as you can play as a group without scoring a goal. I thought they generated. Excuse me. I thought they generated some chances, more than some. I thought they generated a lot of chances. They had the puck. Sebastian was pretty good in the face-off circle. I think he was 500. Right now, that's pretty good for the Hurricanes, who were right at 5. I think it was 31-31 tonight. But I thought that line was exceptional, as good as you can be without scoring a goal, to me. And now to the standings. Rangers, 17 points from 11 games. Carolina, Washington, and New Jersey, all with 16. Devils have already played 14 games. Carolina's played just 10. Washington's played 11. So in terms of points per game, Carolina's got that. So there you go. Let me just scroll through some questions. Yes, the Canes are rolling. Look, it's been a good start. It's been a really, really good start. P.S. says Kochetkov needs to focus on awareness. His lackadaisical play. I didn't see anything lackadaisical from Kochetkov tonight. I saw a play where he played the puck behind the net, and he was waiting for somebody to clear to pass it to, and then he sort of whiffed on the pass. I don't consider that lackadaisical play. I didn't see anything that wasn't good from Kochetkov tonight. So I think that maybe we kind of get lost sometimes in that he's not always a nutcase, right? He's not always all over the place. I loved his game. I loved every element of his game tonight. Second goal doesn't even count in my eyes. And the first goal was Ovechkin on a 5-on-3. I'm just not banging the goaltender for either of those goals. But I thought Pyotr did exactly what you need him to do tonight. And I thought the solidness, the steadiness of it all was my number one takeaway from the game, is that Kochetkov looked like it was a good growth hockey game for him. All right, that'll do it. We'll be back on Tuesday night after the Canes and the Flyers. You can always rate, review, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends. I don't know. Go vote for the podcast. Wherever you get your podcast, we're always here live on YouTube. Canes Corner, youtube.com/Canes Corner. That's enough. If you want to just check out the podcast in normal form, Apple, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get your podcast. I'm sure there are more than just those three places to podcast your life away. But I thank you very much for joining us on the Canes Corner podcast. Canes win 4-2. See everybody after the Canes and the Flyers on Tuesday night.